Oh my God, I'm live. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to Sunday Funday. So, we have a great live today. Well, my co host for tonight is Tammy at Rebel Canners. And then we have interviews with Thorhaven Farm and Tuber Chat. If you guys have a chance and like and share this out, I really, really appreciate it. Hey, look, I kind of moved this little banner behind me, moved it up. It hides more stuff when I move it closer to me. I love it. Um, yeah. So today I was Ubering and I needed to get 6 rides. That's all I needed. 6 rides. Started out, came home 4 o'clock in the morning, went out like 9:30, thinking, oh, get these rides in, and man, get home, start working on my new channel, Grow Big TV with Courtney. That's at Wide Family Farm, and work on a whole bunch of cleaning, getting stuff together. Had to go all the way close to New York by the Lincoln Tunnel. I'm like, oh, no freaking way. I have to go by the Lincoln Tunnel. Then after the Lincoln Tunnel ride, Kay started coming back home. Then I had to go to Brooklyn. And it was 2 hours there, 2.5 hours back, but whatever. It was like 5 hours of wasted energy. And yeah, I made some money, but oh my God, it was forever. So we got some great interviews with today. Thorhaven Farm. Oh, also Gail Southern Living. Oh, there's Make It Wayne. Welcome in, Batman. Welcome in. Um, oh, let me see what I was saying. I didn't expect Make It Wayne here. This is awesome. He's awesome. So, Thorhaven Farm, Gail Southern Living's going to go 5 minutes about her collab. And then we have Tuber Chat and we have Tammy Rebel Canners as my co-host. Members exclusive giveaway today. We're giving away 50 packs of seeds, which is awesome. Oh, Tuber Chat, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Pierogies tomorrow. We have Fiery Legion as my interview. So check out Pierogies Monday. Usually lasts about 40-45 minutes. So we're eating pierogies. Jersey Barnfire, they donated a whole bunch of hot sauces. And so we give us some hot sauces. We taste hot sauces, give out hot pepper seeds. So that's for tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Grow Big TV. It's so far we're on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, soon to be YouTube and others. So we start off November 2nd and look forward to that. You guys it's gonna be a little different than anything you've seen on the internet. Let me see. Oh, I got to read an email too fast, guys, because there is a needy response in the community before we go live. Let me see if I can find it. I thought this was very important to share because this person is very involved with the channel. Come on, fat fingers. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, so our treasured home. This is what she had to say to me. Hello, everyone. Our favorite sister and brother need our help. She has not told a lot of people or no one, but Rebecca's van broke down a few weeks ago, and she and Rhonda have no transportation at all. She doesn't know I'm emailing you at all. Oh no, I'm letting the news out of the bag. Sorry, Rebecca. But what it comes down to, I'm not going to read the rest of the message. I should have read that before. Um, if you guys see Rebecca and you have a chance to help her, please help her and her brother out. I really, really appreciate it. Every little thing matters, especially in today's time. And prayers to everyone in Israel and all our brothers and sisters in the world. Okay, enough with that. Let me bring on Rebel Canners, which is Tammy. Hi, Tammy. How you doing?
Hi, everyone. Doing much better than yesterday.
So you know what? I'm giving away a book today, which is pretty cool, and it reminds me a little bit of you, but it's not about canning. It's a little book of mushrooms,
Ooh. Ooh. I
and
have been taking fall mushroom classes.
it's like a lot of mushrooms in here. Anyway, I was like, I see it, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to tell Tammy about it. So we're giving that away today,
I,
and
I
we got a lot of other stuff too. I'm so happy you're on. And so, what happened yesterday? I have no idea what happened yesterday.
I was sick yesterday.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did tell me that.
I was sick. Yeah.
You feeling a
Yeah.
little better?
A lot better. A lot better. So
So before I have Thor Haven Farm on, I want to show everybody what Tammy's site is in case you haven't checked it out. It's Rebel Canners on Facebook. I mean, she's also on Facebook, but she's also on YouTube. So this is her YouTube page right here, Rebel Canners. She had a video out today, an Irish cream, but a whole bunch of other stuff. There's so much stuff on here, guys, that I know I need to learn that you guys can learn too. And it's pretty awesome. So how often do you usually make a video on YouTube?
I started every day in March, and I've done I like every day but one since March. Something, at least a short.
Oh, look, there's a turkey tail mushroom. So check out Rebel Canners. And if you have any questions during the live, just make sure they're all in caps. I appreciate it. And welcome everybody in. Welcome everybody in. So here's our guest. Our guest, Thor Haven Farm. There we are. There he is.
Hope everyone's doing amazing tonight.
Amazing as could be. Tammy, it's been a long day for me. It's been so long. I'm so exhausted. Usually Sunday's my period of rest,
Mm-hmm.
Now, Thor, how did you get that name? I have no idea.
I forget how we started it. I think it was because we were watching Vikings or something. And we kind of just said we needed something along that lines, and kind of came up with that. And it was like, this is our kind of sanctuary, our haven as well. So it kind of went along with it, and we were tossing some names around, and that kind of stuck. So,
well, you definitely fit the name. I mean, that's what I thought you originally were going to say.
Yeah. There's other stuff we found out later, like my ancestry. We actually traced it back all the way to, I think it was like 160 AD to what was Norway at the time, which was pretty cool. And so that was pretty neat to find out after the fact. So
now, did you always grow up on a farm?
No, I actually grew up in a small town, small subdivision. I think the population was, less than 1,000 kind of thing. But one of my good friends growing up had a pig farm. My aunt and uncle had a big dairy operation. So I've always been around farming. And then I was managing a horse farm for, I think it was about 13 years, a number of years back. So I've kind of always had my hand in it in some way.
Cool. Goddamn.
Well, the program Vikings, I'm actually related to Rollo.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I didn't know
ours goes back through Rollo as well. Or mine does, and it's pretty neat the amount of people that basically are underneath him from his ancestry. So it's pretty cool that way.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that till after I watched the show, and I was tracing my French ancestry, and his name showed up, and I'm like, wait, not really. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, really? They based him on a real character.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Exactly. So, yeah.
And tell us a little about your family, like when you were growing up to what you have now, and where do you live? Like, put everything all in that and all together.
So I grew up north of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a little town called Bond Head. So that's like, it's on the 400 series highway going north out of Toronto. I think about a 2-hour drive into Toronto, something like that from where we were. And again, it was small little subdivision in the middle surrounded by farms. So all our friends had farms, neighbors, everyone we knew basically. It was either dairy farm or pig farm or cash crop. And so then as I grew up, I kind of moved around in different parts of Ontario. And then about 8 years, I met Bridget and we started dating. We were doing a long distance thing because she was in Quebec here. So it's about a 6-hour drive from where I used to live. And we were switching every other weekend. So she would come see me one weekend, and then I would come here and visit her one weekend. So we did that for about a year. And then I had a store at the time, and we were talking to one of my sales reps, and he said, they're in Quebec too. And the topic came up about me dating a French girl. And he's like, what are you doing dating a French girl? And what are you thinking? You going to move here or something? I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. And he said, well, this company's hiring. I'm like, all right, well, that settles it. So went in for a couple interviews and shut down my own business and moved here to Quebec. And we've been living here since then. So we actually moved into property that was owned by Bridget's sister. So she was renting the lower section and I moved in with her. So we were a little crowded for a while. And then she wanted to build her own house. So she did. And we bought the house from her. So now it's ours, and that worked out perfectly. So that was 2019, 2019, right before the big thing. So we got an awesome price.
Now,
so if you sold today, how much would it be worth?
I'm thinking probably double or something. It's crazy. Yeah.
Now, Bridget has a basement business in your house. What does Bridget do?
She does her full-time job as well as her weaving and sewing, and she does a lot of artwork too, other artwork. So she's been up to the Northwest Territories a few times to do a native Inuit show up there. So when she goes up there, it's great because they all do little classes with each other. So she learns from them different skills like beading and tufting and that sort of stuff. So she brings it back here and incorporates it into her own thing as well. So she does a lot of dish towels, a lot of scarves, a lot of shawls, that kind of thing with the weaving loom.
Her weaving is beautiful. If you have not checked out her weaving, it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, she loves using color too because she got in with a group that does weaving here in town, and they're nice old ladies, but they're old ladies and they're very traditional. And, when you do weaving with them, you have to use white in your dish towels. And Bridget's like, no, I'm using pinks and purples and greens and blues and, anything that she finds attractive or, kind of goes together, then she'll throw it together and make something pretty spectacular. So
now, is the kids starting to get into that with the weaving, the crocheting, the yarn stuff, the craft, like besides little crafty things?
No, the boys don't do it at all. They'll help if they get asked to help, but no, they stick to hockey and that kind of thing. So
hockey's important.
yeah, exactly. So
no, I was talking about like the kids in general, like when I was growing up, you always had the grandmother showing the kids when they were little. Then all of a sudden, after 6, 7 years old, you never see it again ever.
Yeah.
I know some of my best times was watching baseball games, crocheting stuff with my grandmother. And then once I got to 11 years old, 10 years old, somewhere's around there, you had all-star games. And then after all-star games, you had women. There was no chance for crocheting.
No, and that's just it. They're really into their hockey. Like sometimes they'll have 2 practices a day. So that's what they do. And if they're not playing hockey, they're usually outside practicing. So I was filming another video today, and the oldest had his net out, and there were hockey pucks coming whizzing into the garage when I was filming. So I had to redo a few takes and stuff. So
any broken windows?
No, not yet. No, which is nice. So, yeah.
I know throwing the ball around, I broke a couple windows in my day.
Yeah.
And I never forget this one guy who was I broke his window at an all-star game. We're having a catch. And I threw a curveball, knuckleball. I threw it all. He couldn't catch it. I forgot what it was. I think it was a knuckleball. And all of a sudden he missed it, hit the windshield. It was a nice, beautiful, brand new truck.
It happens.
He came out. He was so mad. I was like, oh shit.
Well, on your farm, you have an animal I'm kind of envious. It's
The
big,
pigs?
it's fuzzy.
The chickens?
No, the big and fuzzy and furry.
The rabbits?
No.
Oh,
bigger.
the cows. The
Highland cattle. They are just gorgeous. And I watch your channel just to catch glimpses of them because I really do like the giant teddy bear look. Although they're cows, they're not very teddy bear like.
Oh, they can be. They're because Bridget goes out every day, almost every day, and brushes them and looks after them and that kind of stuff. So they've really gotten really friendly, and they come running over, get brushed and that kind of stuff. So it's really nice in that way. So the more we handle them, of course, the friendly they are.
Now, did you have any animals that it just didn't work? Like it just was miserable. It was
No. So we haven't done the goats yet. So and I'd say meat chickens and pigs can be a pain, but I don't think they're as bad as goats from the stories I've heard. And for us, it's not really I'd say the mischief that the pigs or the meat chickens get up to. It's just when it rains here, sometimes it can get muddy inside their pen or inside where we have them. It smells a bit sometimes. You get the flies. So there's always that kind of going with it. And, I was out feeding the pigs. Was it yesterday or today? And I threw their bucket in. And I go to dump their feed into it. And as I'm doing that, the one steps in it and knocks it over. So the feed doesn't go in the bucket. It goes like all over the ground and all over and that's just the kind of stuff that like really annoys me and bugs me. It's like, that's the little things that kind of like, but again, it's not as bad as goats, I don't think. And for me, it's just one of those things. It's, you just live with it. So
now I don't agree. I will have goats again. I will never have pigs again unless I have a 6-foot concrete fortress around their pen. Because I can chase goats all day and I can talk them into coming back, but you just can't convince a pig to come back until the pig's ready to come back.
No, and that's just it. Like our cows have gotten out a couple times and we treat them with corn or grain. So every so often we'll go out and give them a little bit and they love it. And that makes it really nice because the couple times that they've been out, we just kind of grab a bucket of grain or corn and start shaking it and walk into the field and they follow us through the gate and it makes it so easy. And yeah, like you said, pigs don't do that. They run around and do their own thing.
Yeah. So we had I grew up next to a farm and it was a little town, which is now, the farm now is townhouses and everything like that, right? Well, anyway, our neighbor had stairs. Well, sometimes they got loose. And where would they get loose? To a main road and into the ShopRite parking lot. Now, if you've seen the ShopRite parking lot and all stuff like this, my father like, you're not allowed out of the house. The stairs are loose. I'm like, yeah, so. But the whole town used to close. And
wow.
because they, when they got loose, they got, what do you do? Cars are going 50 miles an hour. Here comes the steer.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wish the farm ended around when I was around 11, 12, something like that. But man, I wish I imagine the shenanigans I would have had if there's still a farm there. I mean, the parties in my backyard. I would never have to travel anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever do cow tipping?
No, never did that. I guess I didn't because my uncle had cows, so it was kind of like, no, I'm not going in for that kind of thing. So,
did you ever hear anybody doing it?
I always heard the stories, but never saw or never really saw it happen or know of anyone that did. So,
I heard of one story where a kid got his ass kicked somehow. So I know. See, this is what's great about YouTube is we have people from Canada, we have Sweden. I mean, we have people from all over the world in this chat. So, yeah. And different genres of what they do. People living in city life, like, well, I never even seen a cow, and that's So when I do these interviews and talk about everything, it's a whole genre of what we're trying to get to.
Oh, I bet, eh? Yeah.
And just getting everybody together on the same length to have some fun and learn,
Oh, exactly. That's just it.
No. Get Tam, I'll let you ask a question. No, you don't have one. Okay.
I have lots of them, but I had to cough. I'm still trying to get rid of that. I witnessed an accident. I was right behind him the other day, and I inhaled some of the airbag talc, and so I'm kind of got a lot of coughing going on. Because I have asthma. But you have quite an interesting setup with your chickens. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your chicken setup? Because I think that's pretty neat. In the winter, you put them in your greenhouse, right?
Nope. That's their chicken coop. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they've got one with lots of windows and a couple of the windows open, so there's screens and that. But we don't heat ours or anything like that, and they go in and out no problem. But yeah, we've got Chanticleers, so they are chicken that was
there we are. We're back.
Bred and raised in Quebec. Mm-hmm. So they were mixed with the partridge. So they have no problem dealing with cold weather and that kind of thing. So having them here is just perfect. Like we don't have to worry about heat in the coop or worry about them getting frostbite on their combs because they don't have long combs that was kind of bred out of them. So they just have the very short little comb. So we don't worry about frostbite, and we can also just feed them snow. So instead of worrying about having the water in the coop where, sometimes it'll freeze, we can just take a shovel full of snow, throw it in the coop, and they'll just munch on that instead of drinking the water. So
nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a hardy breed that's acclimated to your area.
That's just it. It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah, now. Do you plan having any other? Well, you said goats before. Anything else you want to add? You were thinking about adding?
No. So we've done bees, rabbits, chickens, like our laying chickens, and then we do meat chickens, and then we do our pigs and our cows. The last 2 years, we haven't had the bees. We'd like to get them back. We had an incident 2 years in a row where we lost them going through the winter. Our winter is just so long and so tough that it's hard to overwinter bees here. So we lost them 1 year. We got new bees the following year, and then we lost them again. So then the next year we said, no, we're just going to take a break from bees. We also had, I think it was 48 pounds or something like that of honey still in the basement. So we didn't need to get bees for the honey. We just liked having them. We were thinking about getting goats because we go through so much dairy here that we wanted to be able to have our own source of dairy. The problem with that is the amount of time we'd have to spend. So because we both work full time, then all three boys are in hockey, and we're trying to do the homesteading thing as well. So there's just no time to be able to start adding the milking regime into our already busy schedule. And then to top it off with everyone telling us, how much they get out and how much damage they cause. And then we'd have to do more feeding and all that. And we hadn't finished building the fence that we were going to build for them. So we kind of just, no, we're going to take a step back, not worry about doing goats. We'll focus on other stuff. Because the other thing too is, once you introduce another animal, now you're investing more time and energy and money into those animals, whether it be through infrastructure or your time milking or veterinarians and that sort of thing, where we said we might as well take that time, energy, money, and just keep it in the cows. So we'll continue to improve what the cows have and keep going from there. So
now you have a food forest too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's still going. I made the mistake of buying a whole ton of stuff online, and they come as like the little twigs.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a while to get going. So for the first couple of years, we were like, oh, this is great. We're going to, in the next 3 years, we're going to have, more apples than we know what to do with. And we won't need to buy apples at the grocery store. The boys can just go out every day and pick an apple for their lunch. And, and no, it's so we've become friends with the nursery down the road from us. And she is amazing. She knows so much. So we go in there and we can ask her questions. We can just, say we bought one tree last year and we say, we're going to add to this. And she's like, oh yeah, well, you got that brand or that species of tree. So this year you should add this one because that one will complement it well. So it's so nice to have that. And you can just draw so much knowledge from there. So we've been buying the bigger trees now. We only go with her. We don't buy anything online now. That's the way we do it now. So now we're starting to get some apples, some pears. We've got Camaries. We just bought a whole ton of aronia berries. So Viking aronia berries, which are really cool. They're better for antioxidant than blueberries. So that was really cool to find out. And then the funny thing with our food forest too is we kind of have 3 different sections of it. And there's one section over by our car shelter that Bridget looks after. And there's another that I look after. So I was kind of in the mindset of basically chop and drop and let stuff go as it is and that sort of stuff. Well, my area is a disaster. And her area is all nice and manicured and stuff like that. But she has flowers coming up in hers and bulbs and that kind of different stuff. It's so nice to walk through there. Mine's like, yikes.
She got lucky.
Well, I'm the one who started that area and I did everything and I did all the work. No, it's like, no, but no, we basically do everything together. So we've built everything outside that we built or planted that it's all been both of us. So.
Now, how much stuff do you like vegetables? What kind of vegetables do you can? What do you like canning for vegetables?
Oh, so what do we like canning? I don't mind canning everything. There's some things that definitely taste better canned than other stuff. So like 2 years ago, was it last summer? Yeah, last summer. I don't know. We canned a whole ton of green beans because we had 2 foot by about 24 foot bed of just green beans. And we were eating green beans every day for dinner. We were freezing green beans. We were canning green beans. We were fermenting green beans. We were just trying to find every recipe we could to store those green beans. And we still have green beans this year, which was nice because they didn't do well this year. But for us, I think, I don't know, maybe spaghetti sauce would be, because we do the tomatoes, we grow green peppers in the greenhouse. And then because we have the cows, we've got our own source of ground meat. So we do our own spaghetti sauce and can that. And that's probably one of our favorite things to can and eat. So, whereas the green beans, no, we gotta, it's like we throw in bacon and onions after we heat them up, and then they're really good. But canned green beans is just like, if I had known, I would have frozen all of them instead of canning them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What kind of freezer do you have? Like,
we've got one stand up and one big chest, and then we have 2 fridges with the freezer on top of each. So that really makes a big difference. Right now, we're kind of in a rush to clean them out. We've got so many chicken legs in there from our meat chickens that we're trying to can those into just plain chicken, big chunks of chicken, chicken noodle soup, chicken chowder, anything else, just to make room, because we have to harvest the pigs in 2 weeks or next week, and then we've got to harvest our bull a couple of weeks after that. So we need to make sure the freezers are ready to go for that.
Well, my favorite thing to can is pork roast.
Oh, okay.
Just, canned pork, potatoes, carrots, some big chunks.
Nice.
Just throwing that out there.
We definitely want to do more of that as well. It was just last year we were trying to find the time between. Right now, I go into my busy season at work as well. So I'm usually away a lot and working overtime a lot and that sort of thing. So this year, I want to try and focus on canning more of the meat instead of just freezing it. Yes, we did some pickled greens beans as well. Yeah. One that we really found nice, though, was I think it was mustard beans or curry beans. And they're just awesome. I want to say it was curry beans, but I'm pretty sure it was mustard beans in one of the Ball canning books. And that we take and we'll throw into potato salad as well. We'll mix it with rice. So if we do rice one night, then we'll take that and toss it in there as well. And it is so amazing. So
who's the better cook in the family?
Both of us. It depends on what's being cooked. So Bridget excels at pastas and that kind of thing. And I've really learned to perfect the steaks, especially with our cows now. So yeah. If we're doing chicken or pork, both of us have our own way of doing it. I usually only cook the steaks. And then she'll do the pastas. So, and then everything else we switch back and forth.
Well, as a man, you got to deal with your own meat. You want to.
I married a French girl. I don't have to worry about that.
That's a good thing. Let me show everybody what your YouTube page looks like. Here it is. So this is Thorhaven Farm. This is where you can subscribe. And this is where Tammy was talking about the cranky cows.
The fuzzy cute cows.
Yeah.
We've got teddy bear cattle.
They are, yes.
Response to ugly fences.
Yeah, so Brett at 1,000 Acre Highlands did this video and basically said, all beef cow farmers have ugly fences. And it was like, yep, we do. Compared to horse owners and horse farms and that kind of thing, it's like, yeah.
And here you show your new canning shelves. And let me see, prepping for winter, apple peeler, whole bunch. Fall harvest. What is it? Fall garden harvest for the harvest moon.
Yeah,
there's your blueberries you're talking about.
That was the Viking Aronia berries. So we got quite a few of those this year.
So that's what they look like. They looks pretty good. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And they're high in anthocyanins, so they're very healthy.
Yeah.
And what's up with the chicken mouth revealed?
Oh, so with that one, I went in and counted the chickens during the day. And then we went back and counted them at night. And there was a different number. And it was just, each time we counted, there was a different number of chickens. And then we realized that we had one that was roosting up in the tree inside the pen instead of going into the chicken coop at night. She was just going up into the tree instead.
Then you get the ultimate homesteading book. What is that called?
Batch. That book is unreal. I love it.
That's good to know. There's your Viking berries over here.
Yeah.
Wine.
Oh, yes.
That's really cool. So check out Thor Haven's YouTube page. That's there right there. So with climate change, as everybody says, do you see differences what's going on the farm?
I don't. I haven't noticed anything here. But then again, it's only been 7 years we've been here.
Right.
So if it's going to get warmer here, I'm all for that. So
Fair enough.
We're zone 4. So it's one of those things that, like, you know, if we become zone 5 or zone 6, then hey. But I haven't noticed any real changes at all here within the time frame we've been here. So
in New Jersey, they want to build wind farms at the beach, in the ocean. Now you have. I just actually picked up somebody that was with boats and stuff, and just always out at sea. The amount of dead animals out in sea is amazing. What's coming in because of those wind farms. There has been some whales washing ashore now. Dolphins are dying more. They're coming to eat closer. They're like, just the airs, you know, they're so sensitive and that they just hear that little pinch. And then you have the governor. The governor saying, "Oh, there's no problems at all. Nah, there's no issues. You guys are going to save money on your taxes."
It affects something else, in one way or another.
It's really a shame. What people got to have little common sense instead of looking at their pocket or where this money's going to. You know, it's crazy. I'm always at the beach. I was ready. I want to save a whale. No CPR though.
On that kind of topic,
if anybody was a whale, I'd be the whale. Save me.
I'd say on that kind of thing, it's like, I think we can do more ourselves. I'm not a big fan of government stuff. So I think there's so much more we can do ourselves to change the way things are happening, change the environment, kind of, you know, do our part and that sort of thing. So, you know, like we were discussing before, the more trees I can plant for the food forest is a good thing, not only for, you know, helping clear the air, but for habitat, for pollinators, that sort of thing. So it's, you know, I'd say if the government wants to do something, they need to help individuals instead of these big, massive projects. So I'd rather see, you know, instead of massive solar farms or massive any energy project, take it on a smaller scale. So, someone that has, say, a little town with a river going through that, why not figure out how to help that town produce their own energy using that stream with some sort of hydroelectric plan? It's to me, that seems a much smarter way of doing things than these massive operations.
Well, it's about everything's good in moderation. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go to extremes to do all this stuff. No.
Yeah.
Stop this crazy crap. Welcome in, everybody. If I haven't said hi, well, I haven't said hi to everybody. Anybody said hi. So welcome in. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Yeah, it's really crazy how the easy life is becoming so hard when it doesn't have to. What's so hard about building a fire or having a fire going, for to heat up the house or something, just simple stuff.
Yeah.
We're trying to get all these animals and trying to, hormones and beef them up like, stop. Just let them live naturally,
Grow them in a lab. Here's your steak.
Yeah, that's the big thing. That's right. That's what I wanted to talk about. We're gonna burn some steak today.
I get kind of like, let's get into this, but you don't want to get into it too much because then everyone has their own thoughts and opinions, and especially with politics and that sort of thing. But for me, one of the videos I just did was we ran out of hay for our cows. We didn't really, but you got to do that. YouTube, we ran out of hay. Oh my God. But our fields are all sand here. So we actually need the cows here, and we need the animals here to produce that organic matter to get that into the sand to improve the soil.
Right.
There's that kind of rotation of life, the circle of life or whatever, but you need animals on the land to continue to put organic matter into it, where
totally.
They start talking about these labs where they're making meat and it's net zero. Like, really? I don't think it's net zero, like no matter what you're doing, but wherever that stuff's coming from, the power to power that, whatever molecules or cells you're using, it's just, what are you giving back? There's nothing that factory is giving back to the environment. It's not putting in organic matter. It's not cleaning the air. It's not, to me, it's, again, and then it comes down to, like I said before, a smaller scale. So having smaller homesteads producing their own meat and producing their own food is much better than one of those mega labs producing fake meat. So,
and then they have to ship it, and there's goes your carbon emissions.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
They just don't like cow farts.
Nope. But, hey, I've got a thing going. Like, I'll spend a week in my garage with my Highland cows if you spend one night in your garage with your car.
Nope. But buffalo farts didn't count.
No, buffalo farts don't count.
No
other farts count. Pig farts don't count. No, just cows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the reason why you make a lot of bacon in the house.
No. But I can understand that a bit to some degree, where you have massive beef operations, say in California, where there's 100,000 cows shoved into one area. So that to me is not the best way to do things. And I giggle every time I see that too. Well, not really giggle, but half of those farms end up being right beside vegetable farms. So they're using the same water that's draining off the cows into the canal and then watering the lettuce. It's like, why do you think we keep having the problems in the grocery stores with salmonella on the lettuce?
Right, exactly.
Or salmonella? No, what is it? E. coli.
E. coli.
Yeah.
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 Now with those, how many twigs did you buy with those when you buying your fruit trees? And where did you buy the twigs
Oh
at?
man.
I did that before too. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm expecting a small, bigger tree, tree come in. All of a sudden it was like, what's that?
Yeah. I think at one point I probably bought like 25 at a time or 30 at a time. And we've lost a bunch along the way. And we get such a heavy snowfall here that we have to go out and kind of protect them until they get 5 feet high. Because if there's any branches under that 5 feet, it'll sometimes get torn off by the snow melting.
Yeah.
And how many fruit trees do you have now then?
Oh,
From the nursery, you say?
oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
We got, I'd say probably 100 trees maybe that we've planted.
Nice.
Something like that. So, yeah, and it's apple, pear, cherry, plum. I think that's it. Probably not, but I think that's it.
It's a nice collection.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, just make sure you're all in caps so we could ask Thorhaven Farm. I like saying it like that.
And I'm handicapped. I can't see the chat at all. So I've tried a couple times and it won't come up for me. So
I keep glancing over, but it moves and then I lose it. And yeah.
It's usually it scrolls on the side, but it's not tonight. I don't know.
I just like when 2% says fake meat.
Oh, I just saw Kaylin's thing there, nut trees. Yeah, we do have some hazelbeak trees as well. So, and then we've tried to plant some burnut. We've got black walnut that we planted. Maybe that's it.
I have
until someone
black
posts something
walnut.
else, and I'm like, oh yeah, we got some of those too.
I have black walnut, hickory, and I just bought chestnut.
Okay, nice.
What's the easiest one you could grow?
For us, choke cherries. It grows naturally here, so we probably didn't even need to plant the ones we have, but there's so many in the area. Like we'll go on some of the country roads and we'll pull over. Usually it's like third week in August. We'll pull over and just harvest bags of choke cherries. But we've started planting them on our own homestead as well now too. So we've got 3 good sized ones that we get a good harvest too.
Those are really medicinal and healthy for you too.
They're great. Yeah.
I love everybody talking about their plants.
Yeah. Our problem is being zone 4, we have kind of limited on what we can buy for trees. So.
And I'm not far off from you. I'm 5A. So everybody's saying that he's putting up there saying that they have pecans. And I'm like, yeah, that's not even remotely.
No go for us. We've got 2 lemon trees, but they're in our greenhouse and we bring them inside in the winter. So
yeah, I gotta take care of more of my property, my fence and my property before I do the fruit trees. They'll be all gone before I know it and eaten.
Yeah, we expanded. I want to say it's like 70, 80 feet. We had the backyard and then it went right into the pine forest. And we had a forest fire about 1.5 kilometers, which I guess I would say just over a mile away from us last year, the year before. So then we took back the pine forests about 70, 80 feet and we've cleared that out just to give us some extra space between the forest and the house. And now that we're using to plant more of the Viking aronias, more blueberries, more medicinal plants, herbs, that kind of thing. So it's going to be another additional food forest there as well. So
now, how often? This is my last question. Tammy, go ask the last one for her. No, I can't ask that one.
Hey, we're pretty open here, so it's all right.
Yeah. Do you expect to have any more kids?
No. Oh, no.
Done.
No. Yeah. I've got 4 of my own, and then Bridget has 3. So I kicked mine out of the house. Basically, I said, I'm moving to Quebec, so you're out. So the one was like, well, I'm coming with you. I'll get a job there and live there. And I said, you don't speak French. It's like, there's no way you'll get a job here. And they're like, well, what about you? I said, I've already got a job there. I'm good. So, yeah. So then we've got the 3 boys that are here with us, but mine are all back in Ontario.
And then you still do the Thursday night live?
I haven't in a while. It's just been so crazy busy. During the summer, it gets busy. I was going to restart it up again, but then again, now we're going into my busy season with work. So I'm going to be away a lot or in town and that sort of thing. So I'll see maybe after Christmas or something about, or even Christmas holidays, I might start it up again. But at this time, no.
Okay. Well, I'm missing it, so I thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
I think a lot of new people in the chat learned a lot more about you today, a little more than they should know. But
there's always lots to tell. So
yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And
not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Sometime.
Hope y'all have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Take care. That was a lot of fun.
Thor is always fun wherever he's at. Darren is always fun.
You know, that's what I like about my channel. It's just about, we gotta have fun. That's what we're here for. You turn on. I all day I listen to YouTube. That's what I do, and sometimes it's 18 hours worth of YouTube on 2 devices, and I listen a lot, and I listen to a lot of webinars too, and I'm listening. I'm like, man, this is the freaking boringest thing I'm ever listening to. How could you learn? You're not even having fun. Learning should be fun. And that's what I try to help this channel out. So Gail's going to come on in a couple seconds once I see her and she's going to talk about her collab. But before she's on, I'm going to go to the wheel and I'm going to give the members giveaway, which is 50 packs of seeds. From here, the homesteading collection. So there's 50 packs of seeds in here. So this will go to a member, and then we're going to spin a wheel. Wait for Gail. Come on, she should be on any second. Oh, 1 second. What does Jojo Juby say? Joe, do you remember your Unplugged book last week? What was the full name of that? No, I have no idea. I have to go back and look at it. But we do have some good stuff to give out today. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So okay, let me go
my eye on that mushroom book.
Yeah, it's really. I'm gonna buy a couple more of them, and I'm gonna give them out during a week. As mushrooms are so important to learn, and it's the end thing right now is mushrooms. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay, so let's go to the wheel.
Let's see if I can see the chat. I'm gonna try.
Ooh. I got to do another wheel. Hold on. I got to set this up. I didn't set it up. Oh, no. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I forgot. I got to have 2 wheels for this.
I can't see the chat, so I can't help you. I'm sorry. That's part of my job, but my computer wouldn't let me on.
And Gail, if I sent you the link, so just let me know when you're come on when you are. And you said you were listening before. Okay. So let's get to the wheel now. Here's our members wheel. I'm going to shuffle. So if you were a member, and I've been doing videos on this for the last week, it's a members only giveaway. If you are a Joseph's Journey member, you automatically win. And each week you automatically win whatever prize it is. So, which is really cool. Become a member helps me out tremendously. Okay, good luck, everyone. Oh, I got to customize it too. I don't want the ticking sound. And I don't want no funk either. It's all polka. Okay, here we go. Good luck. 15 packs of seeds. Members exclusive. Helen Ford. Congratulations to Helen Ford. You are the members only winner. Congratulations. Whoop, whoop. Okay, let me get that. We'll get rid of that. Oh, Tammy's gone. Oh, no. Let me get rid of this. So Tammy back in a second. I have Tammy's here. And if anybody sees Gail, well, she got to come back on. And Tammy's going around in circles. Okay. Let me bring back Tammy. Okay, since Gail's not here, a Tuber Chat's going to be up. Yes, I do. Let me spin the wheel a couple times too for winners for other stuff. Then we have Tuber Chat is now in it here. So we're going to go right to Tuber Chat. If Gail comes on in, we'll have her at the end of the show. Okay, so let me get to the wheel. We got some great stuff to give away right now. Okay, so here we got the Mushroom Book for a start, guys. This is an awesome, awesome book. Good luck. There we go. There's Polka. All you got to do is leave a comment in the registration video. You are not trying to win on the wheel. This is Mushroom Book. 69. D. Yummy Elmo. Congratulations. Okay, next prize. It's a tea infuser. So which is pretty good. This is pretty cool. So you can put your tea bag or whatever you want to do for your for teas, put them in there and you're chilling. So a tea infuser. Look. Deborah Richardson. And let me see. The Yummy Elmo. Oh my God. Guest on a panel. Okay, D Yummy Elmo's here. So you got the Mushroom Book. So we're looking for a Deborah Richardson. And now we're going to give away 3 things of blue yarn. This is blue yarn. Beehive baby. Beehive baby. With Jesse and Lisa. That's Lazy Days Ahead. That's Lisa. Congratulations. So that's pretty cool. Let me stop sharing this. Oh, Gail is here. Hey, Kevin, before I have, let me let Gail come on. She's only going to be here for 3 or 4 minutes. She's going to talk about her collab. So here's Gail Southern Living. Welcome, welcome.
I wrote it down. I got back from Pinecone Fest in time. So what it is I'm doing a weekly video talking about upcoming collabs, because last year I was trying to find collabs and I couldn't find them. So I decided to do a weekly video announcing the collabs. So if you want to look for one to join, you can come on and I have a playlist. The latest one will have the latest information in it. You can also email me if you have one coming up, or if you have a friend that has one coming up. And these are open collabs that anyone can join. Also, I'm going to talk about giveaways. Like Ariella's doing Christmas is Coming 23. That's a lot like Fall Fest. So if you didn't get in on that, stuff like that. And I talked about Joe's seed giveaway. Let's see, I'm going down the list. You could leave me an email or you could leave a comment underneath about the collab and I'll look it up from that. Be every Thursday at 2 p.m. I'm going to put out that video. All the information about the collab will be in the description box. I'm trying to put the email, the details, what month or time frame, and just the information that you need, who's hosting it, what month, what hashtags, the details of how to join, and the email of the host. And the collabs are mostly on gardening, cooking, canning, all the normal homesteading things plus crafts. So that's pretty much it.
You know, Gail, it's so important that you guys could hear me. Oh, there, I'm back. I'm back. We're having transmission problems all over the place. I don't know how it is on your side, but I know it's on my side. When we have all these collabs, everybody has no idea where to go. Now we have a place to go. And so that's pretty cool,
Yeah,
that if you want to be involved with the collabs and all that kind of stuff, go to Gail Southern Living. Okay, Gail.
Find them and to tell me about them. That's cool. Did I do it fast enough?
Yep, that was good. Thank you. And if you guys have any other questions, please go see Gail Southern Living, and she'll answer probably things just like that. She's always online, always there for you. And so go check out Gail. And Gail, thank you so much for coming on and letting everybody know, because it's gonna
come up and talk about it.
It's gonna help out a lot of people, that's for sure. So, all right. Bye, Gail.
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
think it will.
Thank you, Gail.
Bye, Tammy.
Wow, that was all these transmission problems. I don't know which way I'm going. Okay, so
My phone just died, so I'm on my computer now, and it's a lot more delayed than my phone. So
yeah, we heard a buzz on the side and stuff like that. Okay, so right now I'm going to go to, we have Tuber Cat on. We're going to go right to his YouTube page and show you where you can find him before we have him on. So this is where you can find him. This is Tuber Cat. And he goes live all the time. A lot more now. Well, he'll start going on more, I believe, than he did during the summer. He's a very busy man. But he really helps out this community more than you could imagine. So we're going to talk about that. So go check out Tuber Chat, Connect, and Grow. Okay, so we're going to welcome on Kevin.
Hey,
how you doing?
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here in the chat. Joel, thanks for having me on again. And Tammy, good to see you. Rebel Canners has been a friend for a long time.
Well, you know, Kev, you helped out so many people. That's what I love. You're there, you're sharing, you're doing your thing, but you are helping people bring a community together, your community. I consider it as your community, but it links off. It's like a coaching tree. It's a tree, right? When we coached and all of a sudden they become a coach somewhere, well, your coaching tree, they were part of your coaching tree. Now they're starting their own tree. And that's the same thing we're doing here. What you're doing here is you're growing a whole bunch of little trees.
Right. Yeah.
And friendships and everything like that. And I absolutely love that.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. The truth of the matter is, I have to admit that I haven't been able to help everybody as much as I wish. When we do Tuber Chat, it's become fast-paced over there, right? It's been 3 years, and we have to get into bite-sized information. Joe's been a friend for a long time, so he's heard some of the speeches that I get into that start to drone on, and I talk as fast as I can. But we can only get into small bits of tips and tricks for YouTube. And I learn from creators of all sizes every single day. We talk about things in the chat, and I'm grateful for that. And forgive me for hijacking the conversation, Joe, but for anybody that doesn't already know me from the Tuber Chat community, I also have a full-time gig. And the truth is, I started on YouTube about 6.5 years ago with channels that were not mine. I didn't start my channel until a year after I'd already been helping other people with their channels, but I've been a social media guy for a long, long time. So I was very lucky. And it's interesting because if you think about it, half of my full-time gig is getting paid to do all of the things that we have to do, which is editing videos, filming, doing tags, researching, making thumbnails, and things like that. And the people who have paid me or to do that kind of work know that I'm giving away all my experience for free. And I try to be transparent about what I have and haven't done. I certainly don't want to talk like somebody who knows everything. I struggle like everybody else, and I constantly strive to improve. But they also understand that what I take back from the community goes back into the work that I do and propels the other work that I do for other people on their channels, if that makes sense. But the truth is, like I said, Joe, I haven't been able to help as much as possible. And I still think about ways to get that done, hopefully expanding the content on Tuber Chat one of these days. I've been barking up that tree for 3 years already, but we're hoping to eventually get some hardcore tutorials over there to say, like, this is exactly how we do some of the things that we do. So,
well, it's just all about being creative, right?
absolutely.
Being creative and figuring out new ways, new graphics, new ways to share, and new ways to create relationships.
One of the greatest ways, you have a huge community here, and I talk about this stream, I reference it when I talk about people like Scratch and PPA or the Stock Explorer or VS Speaks Royally, who are longtime friends of mine that have very fast-paced and high-energy chats, and I often compare them or refer to them along with Garden State Gardener. And I say, if you want to see a really fast live stream, faster than Tuber Chat, faster than most others, you come over here. It's not uncommon to find anywhere from 70 to 100 people watching at a time. Even before I came backstage here, there was 48 people watching, which is an accomplishment in and of itself. And Joe, your channel's just exploding. So I'm sure we're all happy to see that.
Now, do you notice, like, when you're talking about that, do you notice different parts of the year? Like, sometimes we could get 125 people in the chat. Other times, like today, 40, 50, summers like that. Do you see different types of the year where you have a lot more and less?
100%. So a few people, thank you for asking. A few people have reached out over the last couple of weeks because they know that I've been on a long time. And the patterns that I've seen have said that around the time that the weather starts to get cold in climates like where I am, I'm split my time between Niagara Falls and Toronto, Canada. So we share weather with the northeastern United States. Some of our European friends, particularly in the UK, will have similar weather to us, right? When that happens, for whatever reason, the traffic on YouTube seems to increase on all online services. You'll notice it on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, everywhere else as well, right? But we see this pattern over and over. We also notice that YouTube changes the algorithm. So if you look at your home page, particularly on a computer, it's easier to do. But if you look at, let's say, who's live right now, you click your subscriptions feed, and all of a sudden you're going to find channels that you haven't been looking at for months. And you're going to have people coming into your live streams and premieres that haven't been there for months, or dropping comments on videos. And you're like, oh, this is a friend. I almost like forgot. But wow, a long time no see. There's tons of that going on right now. And December and January are a huge time. So what everybody gets to do starting right now, especially with all the Halloween content that will be coming out, is you can ride the wave all the way up, knowing that the audience is bigger right now and you have a better chance to get more interactivity on your videos and productions, if that makes sense. But so it's a long-winded answer to your question, Joe, but absolutely, yes, I see these patterns and it never fails. Particularly, we'll see changes right after the time change. For those of us who do the Eastern standard, we switch daylight savings time and all that stuff. When that happens closer to Halloween and then again in April, we see these shifts on YouTube, and YouTube goes around and purges all kinds of stuff. We know they play games with our numbers, our subscribers, our views, our watch hours, and everything else. But whenever they have a big problem, it seems to resolve itself within a couple of weeks. So if you see things that are driving you bananas, I promise, just ride the wave out for a couple of weeks and it'll be fine. And if you talk to any of your friends who've been on for a year or two, they'll let you know likely the same thing. Not saying I'm right, but these are the patterns that I notice, and we talk about them often.
It's important to know. It's exactly important to know that. Go ahead, Tammy.
I noticed, like, I got close to a big benchmark of subscribers, and it was like I wasn't moving, and when I finally got over that benchmark, it gave me 47 more people in overnight. And it's always that way. You get really discouraged. You're like, I'm never going to get to that benchmark. I'm never going to pass this 00 mark that I want to be on. Mine recently was 9K.
Right.
I thought I was never going to get past it. And then overnight, they gave me 47 more people once I got past it. So it seems like they kind of hold back a little bit until you're well past that.
It seems like it. It's unexplainable, and even if we had a Google engineer in front of us, I don't know if I'd trust them to tell us the truth anyway. It boggles the mind, I promise you. But we just have to try not to let these things discourage us, right? And one of the things I talk about on Tuber Chat often is when we think about what we're doing with our YouTube channels, it doesn't have to be the reason you started, but that's a good place to look, right? Is what were the goals? Because before we started our YouTube channels, we didn't know what comments were and thumbs up and lives and watch hours and stuff like this. We had to learn all this as we started. That goes for everyone, right? The goal was whatever it is that you plan to do, the impact that your channel's going to have on the audience you're going to build or the world in general, if you want to look at it that way. For a lot of people, it's monetization. You know, I promise you, I know as well as anybody how much $20, $50, $100 can be life-changing. And the good thing about YouTube is that all of the work we do today helps the work before it and after it, so that we can, once you have, if monetization is the goal, once you have a strong and solid foundation and a monthly income or revenue, it's impossible to stop. You can't stop getting paid for 12 months, even if you quit. You know what I mean? So these are magical things, but we have to think about what are we doing here? What is the purpose? So if it's views, that's great. If it's subscribers, that's great. But if it's money itself that comes through the different types of monetization we can get into, then things like subscribers and views and things like that don't matter as much. You know what I mean? Because I promise you, I've seen channels well over 100,000 subscribers that are making a lot less money than channels with only a few thousand. But it depends on what's happening behind the scenes and the intention. So
it's, you know, the number one,
and you want viewers.
Yeah, you definitely want your viewers.
You absolutely, yes. We'd love to keep them going. Retention is a big thing, and that really helps. That tells YouTube that your stuff is engaging. The longer you can get people to watch, and that's kind of a driver for just about everything else, right?
Yes, and when I'm looking for new content, I always pop into your lives and try to find a couple people that I'm going to like and enjoy watching a lot of.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin, most of the time when I go in your chat, besides Scratch and Pete was always there, and you know, the Stock Explorer, I'm looking for somebody that if there's a cooking channel, I'm going to follow. If there's a gardening or farm or crochet, that's pretty. Cause I have my circle. That's my channel. That's what I want to center on. So I always been a fan of. When I coached, the smallest guy matters. He's the most important part of your team is the smallest guy. Yep. So when I look into your chat and never seen somebody has 10 people, I want to know who that person is. I can't wait to start to follow him.
Right. One of the things we wonder about is you never know where somebody's going to be later on, right? And we see all kinds of trolling and nonsense, not so much in tuber chat anymore, but like it's around there in YouTube. And a couple of years ago, I used to get it bad with people like, oh, this guy doesn't even have 2,000 subscribers. What kind of an expert is this and that? And so I cover myself by saying, no, of course I'm not. I'm learning, I'm trying just like everybody else. It's just that I've been in social media for a long time. I've monetized 5 channels now. So if you want to do things like that or build an income like what we've got coming in from some of the channels that I run, I can help with that. When it comes to like, can I get 1 million subscribers? I have to admit, I'm nowhere close. I haven't even made a channel to 100,000 yet. But we think about these things and how we can just share our experience. When you say, Joe, like it's interesting now because Tuber Chat's been there long and it's strong and solid. The moderators have been dear friends to me for a very long time. I take that stuff very seriously. So I'm lucky in that way. But people have the choice then to come in and hang out and build an audience, right? Or cherry pick once you get to a certain level, right? And we've got people that do both things. You know what I mean? The only unfortunate thing I find is that I keep going back to monetization because in the Tuber Chat community, it's on 99% of our minds. Not everyone, but almost everyone, right? That's why we do the watch hours and things like that. But the idea then is monetization the goal? Like, do you just want to get in the door and that's it? Or do we want to keep going, right? Because you can always continue.
Also, if you want to make money, you got to be able to sell something too. So if you're looking for that, you'd be monetized. But is there something you can sell that makes your channel people can buy? Hot sauces, for example.
There's lots of different ideas that people have, lots of ways to monetize. So merchandise or products like Joe's talking about are a great idea. There's affiliate money that comes from other things. You can white label products. People can start fitness companies and vitamin companies and all kinds of different things. You don't even have to call it a company. You can call it a project if you want to, but there's lots of other ways to monetize. And it's funny because we put a lot of focus on AdSense and like getting money from our ads, but anybody who's been monetized for any amount of time that does premieres and live streams will tell you that that's the smallest part of the monetization in the long run.
A lot of people, they invest all their energy, they get to 1,000 or whatever benchmark, and they stop. There's they have no plan.
And that's okay, to be honest with you. It's fine if people just want to get to a certain level. Not everybody's here to get 100,000 subscribers. Not everybody wants the play button or cares, and everybody, that kind of thing is fine. Some people, for instance, a popular story is to start a YouTube channel so that your in real life family, possibly distant, geographically, can keep up with you. You could do travel vlogs, or you can watch the kids grow up, or you can share your gardening stories and tips and tricks with each other. Because when we're on a phone, right, we think about the old days before we could stream like this. You had to describe exactly what you were doing. And, you think about how you used to maybe help somebody with, their computer. Okay, well, go to this place, click this thing, click that, but you can't see what they're doing. Now, when you're planting tomatoes, you can say, here, let me show you. Bring the camera with you and say, here's the soil that I use. Here's the amount of water that I use. Here's the frequency. Write this down on a piece of paper, and here's my piece of paper. You know what I mean? And it's wonderful that we're able to share in that way now.
That is so true. I mean, I've seen some channels that, they should have a couple thousand subscribers, or a lot more than that, because they're so knowledgeable, but they're only 400, 500. But I'm like, keep on going, because you didn't know what the difference you are making in a lot of people.
Absolutely, yes, 100%.
Yeah. Even talking about microbes in the soil. Yeah, Tammy.
I started my channel because I got tired of saying the same thing over and over on Facebook. Little did I know that my Facebook audience and my YouTube audience were not going to be the same people.
Right.
So even though I have to say the same thing over and over on Facebook to my Facebook viewers, I thought I'll just make a video. I'll record myself so I only have to say it once and I can give them that video. they don't want to watch it because they're Facebook people.
Right.
But I have a following now on YouTube, so
Yeah, Kevin,
it's
that's
not the same people.
That is so true. I thought like people will just like it's YouTube. People will just follow from any kind of social media, but they don't. If they're on Facebook, they generally don't go to YouTube.
Right. Sometimes people go in phases.
So you really
look at another thing, but I can tell you, like from literally, I was in or enthused with social media since I was 15, 16 years old. Whenever CompuServe and AOL started, I was born in the right place, right time. That was my thing, and I've been on there ever since. And over the years, I was doing a lot of work with MySpace profiles and things, then eventually Facebook and this and that. And what would be interesting, so I'll give you a background for a quick second. I used to be a DJ for a very long time. I worked in radio stations and this and that. So I built up a small following. I had over 1,000 people on Facebook profile, but I had a page called DJ Kevin K, which was just for my DJing stuff, so I don't have to annoy everybody with it all day long. And both of those, the profile and the page, both had 1,300 people, but only about 25 to not even 30% of them are the same. You wonder to yourself, but if you're following me for this, why wouldn't you want to follow the other thing? And, but they don't. And the same goes with YouTube channels. I promise you, even with the channels that I run, one guy I run 4 channels for, and the audience is not the same. One channel was built off the other, and still the audiences are not the same. It's just the way it is. So we can be happy with that, knowing that if you build an Instagram following and a TikTok following and a Facebook following and wherever else you're going to be, you have a larger audience altogether. Then you just have to figure out what type of content melds with everybody, because it's not the same. The Facebook people don't want the same stuff as the Twitch people, and the TikTok people don't want the same stuff as the Instagram Reels, even though we think that they should. It's just not the way it is, right?
Without a doubt. Like I'm starting a channel with Y Family Farm. It's going to be called Grow Big TV, mm-hmm. And it's going to be in. So if you ever see Grow Big TV, well, that's me. Because I'll be all over the place. We start off in 3 weeks or so. Mm-hmm. So I just got to finish my page, my YouTube page.
We'll be looking forward to that.
But it's going to be. It's going to be all over the world. It's going to be my Courtney used to be in radio too, so it's a really good dynamic we could put together.
Excellent.
And it's going to be a little bit of everything. It's different. Nobody's ever had this on YouTube, so I got to keep secrets together a little bit. But
we'll be looking forward to it.
I met somebody that's. Chris Stapleton is?
I think so.
He's a big time singer.
Okay.
Well, anyway, she's involved something with him a little bit. And okay, right. I'm not gonna. But good things are happening.
That's good.
It's going to happen.
As soon as you're ready, as soon as the channel's ready, set, and running, you just let me know. And we'll feature it and rate it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Did you ever think about doing the email thing when you're going live? Because now you go live all over the time, like all over the place, to see what parts of the world you could get. I guess like tell everybody a little bit about that with the time. Well, first you go live right after the show today, right?
Yes. So lately, what I've been doing is not publishing in advance. And it might sound slightly ridiculous the way I'm going to put this, because I didn't prepare for that question. But basically, when Tuber Chat started, we only had about 20, 30, maybe 40 channels coming through in about an hour to an hour and a half period. But it's been consistent. And, this is what I planned from the beginning, knowing it would take 5 years, but we would start, and it's grown solid and strong. The problem is we got to a point where the streams were getting beyond 2.5 hours, and my voice can't take it because I never stop talking the whole time. So what I found to be a way around that was I'll take 3-minute breaks 5 or 6 times during the stream. We can extend it an extra half hour. but that's it. I can't take it because I used to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. By Monday, my voice is gone and I'd have to sometimes cancel the stream. So we don't want to do that. So in most cases, it is probably advisable to post with perfect consistency. Like Joe has Sunday Funday. We all know it's Sunday evenings for those of us in the Eastern-ish time zones, right? And this is how that kind of thing really builds up. Scratch and Pete PA, some of you know him, hopefully most of you. He posts every Tuesday at 12:15 Eastern, a premiere for years now. It's getting on 3 years with perfect consistency. He has not missed a week. Even if he's sick, he drops a video instead of a premiere or something else, right? He went on vacation. He did not miss the productions. So that's advisable in most cases. And I try not to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. We all have to make our own decisions. We have to decide what's right based on the information we get from everybody. But in the case of Tuber Chat, because it's a utilitarian channel, if we want to look at it that way, I can do things that are a little bit different intentionally, and then I can dial it back if I make a mistake. So what I decided from the beginning is we're going to mix up the days and times, even though that goes against everything everybody else is going to say, because we probably can, and it's going to be made to a feature as opposed to a weakness, if that makes sense. The strength in it is saying when you come into Tuber Chat, you're probably going to see people that you didn't see last week, because last Saturday we were on in the afternoon. This Saturday we're on in the morning, right? And same, like we don't do Sunday night streams, but we're going to do it today because my personal schedule requires it, and coupling with the fact that we always move things around. So there are always brand new channels in the chat. There are always people who've been with us for 3 years or longer, and everybody in between, and it's wonderful. Now, it does get overwhelming, and I've had to do a couple of things. So when you say the email, I'm assuming that you're wondering if I send an email out to let people know that the stream is coming.
Yeah, just an idea. Just an idea, like, hey, you know what? I'm out. I want to see you. I'm always a following. You know, all of a sudden, oh, Kevin's live. You go on your phone, some kind of message that you don't have to be on your computer. You could just something.
So that would be advisable to anybody. And I'm a huge fan of MailChimp. I've been using MailChimp for what I think is 15 or 20 years now. I use it for everything, including Tuber Chat. I only send emails there occasionally. I thought in the beginning I might send them every month, but I really don't have anything different to say. And if we find a time ever that Tuber Chat starts to dip in viewership, then absolutely I'll turn the dials on. I'll start sharing more, and I'll get the email list, pumping it out. I usually only do it for special events, like so for our 600th or 700th episode, which will come up, and things like that. But it is a great idea. I'm absolutely a fan. I use it for every project I get involved in. But with Tuber Chat, luckily right now, it's as busy as I can handle, because as it is, we can't get every channel on the screen every day. So we've got a system to try to make things fair and move that around and try to give new people a chance to get on while paying tribute or giving homage to our longtime followers and members without going overboard. You know what I mean? Because people get really angry when you have a channel that does like pay to play. Right? So it's not, if you super chat, we'll put you on the screen. No, if you super chat, which I tell everybody is unnecessary, we will let you skip the line and go first, just like they do in a theme park. Let's just say Disney will let you pay an extra $50 and you can go first, right? But everybody still gets to go. It may or may not be the fairest thing in the world, but the other thing, what else are we doing here, right? And then I always make sure that everything's open to everyone. So while members get recognition, and I do give more than I promise, which I would recommend to everybody, we still make sure that there's a chance for people who are really involved to be able to have the same benefits as everybody else, getting their channel talked about, getting me to get to know them, talk about their content, helping them hit milestones or swap and watch hours and things like that. So it's a tricky thing, but it's become overwhelming, and I'm grateful for that. So I don't mean to sound like I'm not, but Joe, like, what are you going to do when your wheel gets to 300 people? It's, what I mean? You can handle it because of the way that you run it. And, you've been doing fantastic. I'm truly amazed and have been for a long time. But Tuber Chat, I have a limit, right? If you had to do 300 giveaways, you'd be on for 6 hours, right? There's a limit to how much you can do. So that's where that comes in. And I try to let everybody know that the magic is in the conversations that happen and the friendships that are built, which anybody who's been to Tuber Chat, Rebel Canners will tell you, Joe will tell you, anybody else who's been there, Gail Southern Living will tell you, and all our friends in the chat, that if you've been there for any amount of time, it's the friendships that are built. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just there to talk for 3 hours while we do this. And I appreciate the nice things people say, but that's the truth about what Tuber Chat is. That's why I called it Tuber Chat, because the action happens in the chat. It's not the wheel, it's not the screen, it's not me, and it has nothing to do with Super Chats, memberships, or any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Tammy, you're going to say something?
Every time I go in, I find a couple new friends that are really friends. Like, I'm going to watch their content, they're going to watch my content, and we're going to stick with each other. And I noticed that several of the names are in the side chat today. So.
Let me see. Hey, Jane Doe or any other mods, can you post Tammy's link out for her channel and Kevin's link? I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And tonight you're going live.
I'll need to go over it.
Kevin, tonight you're going live at 9.
Oh, pardon me. Yes, absolutely. Whenever we're done. Yeah, we're not in a rush because I've let the moderators know, and they're incredibly patient with me because I move things around, and we have a little Instagram group, so which is a great tool. You can talk to everybody and get a message out that you need to the people who need to hear it, right? And so they know that we're expecting to go on around 9 p.m., but it's not a rush. When we get there, we get there. After we're done here, I'll spend a few minutes getting my act together and refreshing my coffee and things like that, and then we'll get back on. See, I alternate hot and cold drinks as well, if you can see that. I have a coffee and I have other stuff that I shouldn't be drinking, like soda and Monster drinks and everything else. But that's for the to alternate with the hot and cold for the voice, to keep it going. I put honey in my coffee, and there's all these tricks to keep it going, because I'm going to be on in the morning again. We'll do one at 10 o'clock in the morning as well.
That's what I love when you're during the day and during the morning, because I listen to Howie, which is Food Forest Permaculture. Guy is amazing, Kevin. This guy's a knowledge. He just I don't think he has an agenda. But the conversation just flows, and makes your mind just go in circles.
Did I not see them on your channel?
They were supposed Howie was supposed to come on today, but he got sick.
I could be mistaken then, yeah. So a big influx of homesteading channels started to come through the Tuber Chat family. Like, we have channels of all kinds: lottery ticket scratching, we have cooking, we have anything you can imagine, travel vlogs and everything else. Every kind of channel that there is basically is in there. But we do have a lot of homesteading friends, and I often say about the creators behind those channels that they seem to have an instinctive nature in wanting to share knowledge and resources with each other and with others. It's a sense of generosity that they all seem to share. It's universal between the homesteading channels, and I group in there gardening, farming, ranching, sometimes even fishing, hiking, camping channels. Anything where there's a meld of outdoor and indoor, seems to be the thing. My love, Kristen Welton, is in the house. Thank you for coming in.
So, since your love is here, I gotta have a tough question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the better cook? So off the bat.
Oh, Kristen is one of these people who knows her way around the kitchen and can experiment with recipes. She understands, like a lot of our friends do, but she understands the spices and how they're going to work together. Whereas I can cook, but anything I do tastes like it came out of a Betty Crocker cookbook. Right? So I make a lasagna, but it's traditional. I make chili, but it's traditional. I can make soup. I haven't, but I can. Anybody can throw a pot roast in a slow cooker and things like that. I could put, fish, chicken, or any kind of meat in an oven for 45 minutes. But that's the extent of it, right? So I'll make things, but it doesn't taste like a restaurant. Kristen could cook like a restaurant. She makes fantastic things. She bakes, she cooks, and everything all the time. So I'm lucky in that way, but by worlds apart, she excels in that way.
That's so nice, because if I said it with my wife, I'm the better cook.
I intend to cook better, to learn to cook better, and she offers to help with that, and she shows me how to do things. I'm trying to think of examples, but like soup she made the other day, a traditional like macaroni and cheese. If you're really gonna make that kind of comfort food, you really have to know what you're doing, right? Because there's a big difference between homemade, and I know everybody likes the one that their husband makes, or wife makes, or grandmother makes, or cousin makes, and things like that. I get that, but there really is a lot to it, right? It's not just a simple like powder mix with milk and butter, and there we go. I can make that one, But Kristen's in the process of wanting to. I'm in the process of wanting to get her to teach me better. I'd like to be able to make some things from scratch without thinking about it, like just baking simple cookies, or like baking a cake, or making pancakes. Right? If I don't have a whatever that company's called now, the Aunt Jemima pancake mix, it's never going to happen, right? Where she knows how to do that kind of thing.
What's the little things in life that's important?
Well, it
that's
makes
what she does.
It makes things fantastic, because you know as well that you're eating very well. So she also does really well with being resourceful. So I can be good with the idea of I demand value for every dollar that I spend. So I like to think that I'm not cheap. It'd be up to other people to decide that. But if I'm out, I like to think that I'm generous. I tip well. I like to go out when possible, occasionally, to things like restaurants or different events and things like that. I'm lucky to be able to do some of that, right? But when it comes to being frugal in the household, Kristen really knows how to like look for sales and take advantage of that and plan in advance. So when you go into our home, like I'm sure a lot of our homesteading friends would have, we've got enough food and resources to hold ourselves together for months, probably. I bet there's even longer than that, but at least 3 months of food there has to be, right? Because she buys things on sale in abundance at the time. We don't grow a lot. We live in a very small space, and forgive my excuse, she's starting to grow stuff. I'm sure you might know the YouTube channel Hope Bus. So they're also Canadians. They only live about 20 minutes to half an hour away from us. We went to visit them, and they've become friends, but they literally put a basil plant and a tomato plant in our hands and said, here, you're going to start growing this stuff. And Kristen's been looking after it, but she's been doing that now. And I know she's growing a few more things now. But maybe we'll get into doing more of that as well. But I'm very lucky because she's able to do that. And then so the hope is that we complement each other in that way. But, we always are fortunate enough to be able to eat well. We're able to give abundantly, to a point, as well as, know that things are not being wasted. One of the saddest things is wasting of food. And things like that, because sometimes it can be tough to shop. You want to get a great deal on something, so you go to Costco, buy a case of something, and then half of it ends up not getting used. But I swear I was going to use it, and that's an unfortunate thing as well. So she's good at planning for that kind of thing. She always makes enough food as well when she's cooking. Let's say, for instance, she makes enough food to have the right amount of leftovers. So there is no waste of any kind. And that is something that I think takes a lifetime to learn. But she's been great with that, we've been together 8 years now. So
See, that's my problem, guys. All the food I see leftovers, it just goes right to me. All gone. Never any waste.
I
Always
think
a
about
problem.
that.
I plan leftovers.
Go ahead.
I plan leftovers for the rest of the week. So I made 3 pounds of bacon tonight, and that'll be breakfast for the whole week.
Right, yeah. So you can do these kind of things, right? Which is great. The other thing that I talk about a lot lately is with friends and things like that is the idea of going, let's say, to a restaurant, right? Inflation, obviously, we all talk about it all the time. It's out there everywhere. We have to be considerate about the idea. I'll go out with, pardon me, a few friends. And I don't look like I eat a reasonable amount of food, but I can only eat a reasonable amount of food. I look like I eat much more, right? But my friends, I got a couple friends who can just pile it in, right? And what I try to explain is let's not over order. You know what I mean? If there's 2 of us there, we don't need 4 appetizers, because all we're going to do is sit here, eat ourselves into oblivion. And when you think about it after, not only do you feel like garbage, but you've wasted money. What a waste that is, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't like to think that I am cheap, but at the same time, you can always order more, especially if you're at a restaurant. Why don't we order something now? We'll get back to a little bit more later. But, we've had times we go to a restaurant, people are taking 2 full plates of appetizers home. I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? If you want pierogies, just go to the store, get some pierogies, and make them at home. Why are you going to a restaurant paying 4 times the price to take them home?
Okay, but I have a question for you too.
Yeah.
Now, when I started my channel, I never thought I was going to get into crochet. Well,
Yeah.
I did it when I was little, but it was formulating my channel when I was formulating my channel and my circle. I call it my circle. I thought it was going to be all gardening. Now it branched out, and I still got to get into cooking and stuff like that. But crocheting and stuff brought back memories, a lot of me, all my good times, and I thought it'd be great for the community.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that you never thought you would get into that you learned from some of your subscribers? Something that you really looked into. Like I looked into crochet. I never thought my channel was going to do that, but now I'm really into that community.
So I haven't done anything. I haven't taken inspiration as far as to do something, but I can tell you that our homesteading friends, I find it fascinating. So it might sound, forgive the way it might sound. I don't know if it sounds ridiculous the way I put it, right? So I'm the kind of guy who's a big city guy. I was born in Toronto. I love being from Toronto. I'm a proud Canadian and everything else. I've been lucky to spend a lot of time in the northeastern United States. I've visited beautiful cities like Cincinnati, Boston, Philadelphia, everywhere in between. I like being surrounded by concrete, glass, and steel. And my happy place is having 3 computer screens, a tablet, and a phone beside me, which I'm sure will send all of our homesteading friends into a complete frenzy, right? Thinking, well, why don't you get outdoors and enjoy the fresh air? And I have done that. When I was a kid, I was a Boy Scout. And we used to do really well. I didn't line up all the badges and things like that, but I can start a fire. I can tie a few knots. I can pitch a tent, and I can certainly cook, clean, and eat a fish, right? So these kind of things I can do. I haven't grown a lot when it comes to the idea of growing food, but I find it fascinating. So there's a lot of things. I'm very lucky as the host of Tuber Chat to be able to see channels of all kinds that likely expands farther than most. Because when we get into niches or categories, be it homesteading and crochet together, you will find crochet people, you'll find homesteading people, and you'll find people who enjoy both, right? And a little bit more. But Tuber Chat's designed to have everything. There's fishing channels, there's gaming channels, there's crochet channels, and there's classic car channels. There's one guy who does fantasy football as a channel, right? For instance. So I have been fascinated by a lot of things that people have done, but there's nothing in particular that somebody's done that I've taken on and said, I'm going to do this. Because when I do, let's say, unboxing videos or a tech review of the camera or microphone that I use, I was going to do that before I started the channel. That was the whole point in starting on YouTube in the first place. I never knew I was going to do Tuber Chat. That came 2 years in. But I knew that I was going to do unboxings and teach people about social media and show you how to share on Twitter and Reddit and things like that, because that's the stuff that I can help with, that people need to know when it comes to their channels. Because somebody who knows how to garden and excels in gardening and can give you tips and tricks about gardening may or may not also know about Reddit or how to share on Facebook, or how to do some of the technical things that can meld some of those things together, if that makes sense. Whereas that's always what I've done. And while I wish I'd probably enjoy the outdoors more than I do, I do love fresh air. I'm lucky to actually work. The other half of my full-time job is doing god awful construction work with concrete dust and asphalt and painting lines in the parking lot and everything else, inhaling horrible toxic fumes and everything else. So I get my share of fresh air. But as for spending time outdoors, I don't spend nearly as much as you would think for somebody who's enjoying all the content from, let's say, our homesteading friends, for instance. But I find it fascinating. I'm kind of amazed, and you can hear it. I know I'm a passionate person. You can hear it when I talk all the time anyway. But if you have a chance to be in Tuber Chat and hear me talk about people's channels, especially after I've started to get to know them, you can hear the things that I'm really interested in. But I haven't picked up in like crochet. When I was a kid, I did a little bit of rug hooking. I think that's what it was called, right? And my grandmother knitted, and a kid wants wants their family to teach them every single thing that they do. So, I think my grandmother was going to teach me to knit. I probably paid attention for 2 seconds and then saw a video game, and that was it.
Game over.
Yeah.
Go to knitting.
I would love to become a little more self-sufficient, but I also was lucky enough to be in our school system. I was just in the public school system, but in the school that I went to from grade 6 to 8, we had woodshop class, we had sewing class, we had cooking class, and we had, I think they called it home economics altogether. And it was interesting because we made our own stuff. So I made a stuffed animal. I think I gave it to my sister. I can't remember for sure because my memory's not what it once was. But I made a little stuffed animal. I made a couple of things like a shelf and a plate to hang on the wall. I made a chessboard that I actually didn't finish out of woodworking. I made my own tracksuit in 8th grade, and we learned to cook a lot of different things. We made those cornflake peanut butter things that kids like to make, and we made I think they were called sticky buns and things like this. So I was very lucky, not knowing it at the time, to have learned a little bit of different things. And I wonder if that's what makes me so fascinated when I see the stuff now. But I also tend to fill my plate very full with work, and it's not that I'm a workaholic. It's just that I love most of what I do. I really do. So if you ask me, like, Kevin, do you want to go swimming today, or do you want to go, like, to a certain place or another place, or do you want to start a website tonight and we'll do a project that might not work? That's what I like to do. I got to have a computer around me all the time. Not that I can't get away from it. It's not as much of an addiction as I'm making it sound. It's just that's my happy place. Much like somebody would like to go fishing at 3 a.m. and stay on the boat for 8 hours, I want to be on a computer for 8 hours. But I do enjoy learning about the other stuff that people are doing. So I'm constantly fascinated. The only way for Tuber Chat to work is for me to truly take interest in everybody else's channel and understand what they're doing so that I can learn about the impact that they're going to have on everybody else. Some of that comes from a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a very popular self-help or motivational book. You can look at it anyway, but I've got a small list of books. I'm not a book buff. I listen to audiobooks. I don't like sit there and read like a lot of people do. But I love the idea of information. So I don't know how much of that is, you're born with it, and how much of that is learned and intentional. But I truly take an interest in other people's things. And I think that I just benefit. And then hopefully that, what I benefit comes back out to everybody as well from that. But so I know I gave a very long-winded speech like I always do, Joe, about your question. So there's nothing that I've picked up from our friends on YouTube that I can think of right now that I've taken interest in and done, like for instance, crochet. Right? Not to say that I won't, but I tend to have a full plate as well. So I already have like my, tomorrow's lined up for me. I don't have a spare second, right? So
Right.
I don't know if I will, but I'm just as fascinated to see what other people are doing. I think about doing a lot of things like, oh, maybe I should do a Lego stop motion video, or maybe I should grab some lottery tickets and scratch them, or, different things like this. But I haven't done anything like that yet.
I thought about doing a scratch off thing too. Just go on Nora's channel, do a little scratching there, go on scratching, maybe not scratching Pete. Scratching Pete's another level. No, I'm joking, Nora. I never thought I'd be watching a scratching channel for scratch offs.
I didn't know it existed. But if it wasn't for Tuber Chat, I wouldn't have known. So I don't remember who the first channels were. And if I remember right, I could be wrong about this story. And forgive me, Pete. I know he's in here if I'm mistaken. But he was somebody who actually found a friend of mine who I run channels for still to this day before me. And then he found me through them. And then he came into the Tuber Chat family a long time ago as PA. He was very long known as PA. And I believe that he contemplated what he was going to do with his channel before he did it. So then he became Scratch and Pete PA. So he took on the idea of lottery ticket scratching, put his own twist on it. And his channel's unique. Anybody will tell you that, because he decided to do things in a different way and found something that is truly different, yet the same. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. But he is, I describe him as a shining jewel in the Tuber Chat family. I know Nora's been doing a lot of lottery ticket scratching. She was doing it an hour ago with Ted again, Florida Claimers Ted on there. She invited me to come on and do some lottery ticket scratching. I just haven't taken up the offer yet. We had a talk on her channel many months ago as well. I haven't done as many panels this year as I expected to. But
when Nora and Ted get together, it's a great combo.
Yeah,
because you're laughing, you're communicating. I don't know what else you could do with it, because they put all the energy and all the interest and laughter, everything. It's a great listen to. I really enjoy it.
It's great when you can have a couple of people that kind of get together and have that chemistry, right? Whether like it could be anybody, it can be you've been at this long enough that when you have guests on, you're not talking over them, right? And I tend to do the same, but I came from radio as well, so I have an idea of how to try to prevent that. But we know what it's like to be at a family dinner table. Everybody's talking over everybody and things like that, because we tend to do that. But these are kind of things that we think about. Scott's making me laugh. I'm gonna fall off my chair there.
Don't fall off the chair.
Scott is the newest addition to our moderator squad, actually. Scratch and Pete PA went on vacation to Italy, and a lot of our moderators are there. Stock Explorer tries to be in there every day. Kristen Welton's in there every day that she can be, my love, of course. But she works during the day as well, so sometimes she can't be on. Right? She works at home. She can't be on Tuber Chat and be working at the same time. But our moderators have been great, but Scratch and PPA went on vacation. So I said, maybe we should add one more moderator. And it was ironic because just as I was having the thought, Scott, for probably the second or third time, said, hey, if you need a hand, I'll be willing. But he's been a friend a long time as well. He's one of the first creators to come in from the homesteading community, and that's getting on a couple of years now. You know what I mean? But he always jokes around. Scott is he's a great guy. So
how close do you live next to Scott?
About 4 hours or 6 hours away. I'm somewhat embarrassed because 2 years ago, I went and chased a lot of the Freedom Convoy stuff that was going on. Very politically charged content, right? But that was world news. And I benefited greatly. My channel went from 2,000 to 9,000 in a couple of weeks. It was and I would have liked to meet up with Scott, but the problem was I was also streaming, and for the idea of the opportunity and everything else, I was focused on that, and I never ended up making the time to go and meet up with him. But being only 4 or 6 hours away, I've been to Ottawa a couple of times now, 3 times, I think, but I would likely be able to connect with him soon enough, I'm sure.
I'm just noticing Tammy like this the whole time. Little person.
So one of the things we think about, I don't know if Tammy's under the weather or anything like that. Kristen was just saying in the chat she's not feeling the greatest this past couple of days, but this is the time for that, right? And you know, it takes a lifetime. This is where our wisdom comes from, right? You can see the wisdom right here. But we when the kids go back to school, about a month later, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks later, everybody starts getting sick. And it's not that you want to place blame or anything like that. It's just patterns that we see. Everybody's sick right before Halloween. I'm expecting it. I was sick a couple weeks ago again, just minor. But I'm allergic to everything. I get sick a few times a year. I just try to fight through some of it.
Tammy, you're back.
I think mine is from inhaling that airbag talc because I have an asthma, and I think my sickness was from that. It made me physically ill.
So one last question, Kev.
Yeah.
Are you inking on something different that you're going to do with your channel? Like, is there something that you're thinking about doing something? Or are you just going to keep the pace right now? And
okay, so thank you for asking. So Tuber Chat is expected to stay the same because what I saw when I started that channel and that project was there are always going to be people starting YouTube channels.
Yes.
If somebody's got 150,000 subscribers, they don't need what I have to offer. There's bigger fish to fry on that side of the fence, right? Once you get from 10,000 and you're working on 100,000, things are a little bit different. But Tuber Chat is meant to help anybody who's starting out in their YouTube journey, even if it's the first few years, right? So I do hope to someday, and forgive me, my good friends that have seen me say this a million times, I do hope to bring videos eventually that'll give a little bit of how-to ideas to some of the things that we all need when we're starting our YouTube journeys. But I have other projects on the go. So what a lot of people don't know, because I never mention it, is I also happen to be a computer programmer. So I'm not a great programmer, but I'm probably beyond amateur at this point. And I've put a few games on the App Store before. They're the worst games you've ever seen, and they're awful. And I knew that was what it was going to be, because that was a practice run. And I'm about to do the second run. So that's what I'm here for. If anybody ever wondered, why is this guy on YouTube? Because he talks about Instagram and Facebook and, you know, being a DJ and blah, 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 all this like life history, right? We all have the same lineup of stories. But what's the next thing? That's what I was here for, to get YouTube strong and solid so that I can focus on the next thing. So I'm working on actually a couple more games right now. And when they're ready to show everybody and I'm ready to ask for everybody's help, I'll bring it out and I'll ask for the help that I need and this and that. But that will be the long-term play. The reason why is because when you think about YouTube, and especially for people who live stream frequently, you have to show up, right? So when we do our YouTube videos, if you stop making videos and you stop live streaming, sure, your income, if you're monetized, is going to stay. It will start to decrease over time, but you're going to get paid for a year, right? But you can't stop it if you wanted to, but it's going to go down, right? Whereas the next thing that I build needs to be something that can grow. So, for instance, one of the games that I put out years ago has like 10,000 people, right? Now, it's probably well beyond. It could be into 13 or 15,000. I didn't even look, right? Because it's time for much better stuff now. But the idea is to build something that doesn't require the same kind of work. It can grow. And then the work that I do will help the project continue to grow beyond the day if that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If I've been sick, like a few months ago, I lost my voice literally for weeks. I wasn't even sick. I just lost my voice. I couldn't do Tuber Chat. I was off for weeks. And of course, the income, the viewership, and everything else goes down. So the next thing I want to bring are, let's say, games. I'm going to do games like Candy Crush or Jelly Splash or Bubble Shooters, things like this, right? And the idea will be, sure, I have to keep updating the apps, but if I'm a week late, it doesn't matter. People aren't going to stop playing. The project's not going to go in the pits and everything else. And you can plan far in advance, similar to the way we do our YouTube videos. If you could film 4 videos today, put them out every Saturday for the next month. That way, if you get sick, you don't have to worry about it, right? You got videos in the kitty, if you want to put it that way. But with the idea of games, the way that I'm going to do them for the second round, which is meant for a third round someday 3 years from now, after, Tuber Chats hit its 1,000 episodes and we decide what's next and all that, these things can grow. And I don't have to be there to show up. I don't have to talk to every single person to like, hey, come and play my game. It grows on its own with the right kind of promotion, advertising, and things like that. So another long-winded answer, but thank you for asking the question, Joe.
Oh, one last thing. We got to get you on Alaska 25.
Yeah, I got so I don't talk about it ever, not that I don't mean to or whatever, but I have family obligations that would not see me probably wanting to leave for any amount of time.
Okay.
And anybody could tell probably what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? As we age and as our family ages, some of us, need to be there for each other. And that's not the only reason. It's not so much finance or anything like that. Everybody can see that, Tuber Chat's doing just fine. And I work full time. I do, I don't have any more money than anybody else, but I'm not going to starve this week. Thank goodness. Right. But, so it's a thought, and luckily it is still 2 years away. Right. So there's a lot of time. And if I find that I can make it to that, I would love to. But the other thing too is I'm very lucky. I have a very small family, but we all love each other dearly. Everybody gets along. We love being together and everything else. And I wouldn't want to put extra burden on the family. And I can't be in a state where I'm unreachable for any amount of time at all. But we'll see. Things could change and things could be fine. If it was today, I could go. But 2 years from now, I can't predict today. So if I'm able to go, it'll be a last minute thing. I'll know probably 6 months from now. But I would love to be able to do more of those things, though.
And when you said no originally, I thought it was, he just doesn't want to see Scott and I with our shirt off.
I would love it. One of our friends, Butler Family Farm, has been able to do a lot of live streaming at some of these meetups. And I promise you, I have the jealousy all throughout my bones wanting to be there with everybody. You know what I mean? It's wonderful because after you've been a part of a community for any amount of time, that people would be happy to see you. They'd be happy to have you there. Yeah, I got to bring the beach attire. But they don't have enough security on a cruise ship to hold back the crowd if I pulled out the beachwear. So don't worry about that.
And you did say Alaska, right? Like, not the Caribbean. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they leave from Seattle, so in August in Seattle, it might be okay. We're on the edge over there. Yeah.
I think you're going to see icebergs.
Actually, I think Scott said to me, he sent a message that said he's going to do a stream on Friday talking about that. So this coming Friday, he'll do a stream specifically talking about that particular cruise. But it's always informative. He's doing that with Jesse, the mod father from Lazy Days Ahead, and they've had the travel agent on talking about cruising in general. Yeah.
And nothing like seeing two fat guys in 10-degree weather with Speedo on.
It's good content.
You'll be back against the rail on the cruise ship with the glacier in the background.
It'll be the first time I expose my bulging rippliness on YouTube. An event for
It's
the
made for a
ages.
calendar. They can have their Chippendale dancers. They get
There
their
you go.
firemen. Then we have our homesteaders in Alaska.
There we go.
I would
Yeah.
see this. Tammy, any other questions for Kevin?
No, but I just want to encourage everybody in the chat to go over if they have not checked out his channel. He's really helped me grow. I know he doesn't realize that, but he has really helped me grow because every time I come in, I find, 3 or 4 people that become lifelong friends, not just acquaintances or one-time clicks, but actual friends that stick with with each other. It's really worth it to go over and check out his channel.
And thank you for the kind words. It's wonderful to know that that works the way it does, because like I keep saying, I don't want to sound like somebody who thinks they know everybody, or thinks they know everything or anything like that. I certainly don't, but I do have a history in social media, and I understand that the human nature outside of the technical things we talk about is what makes all of this work. So the friendships that are built, we use the word family all the time. Everybody does. And I was inspired to do the things we're doing here by friends who do the same thing. The generosity that I've seen on this platform has been overwhelming. I've never seen anything like it. People wanting to help each other, people truly wanting to help other channels get their milestones and get their different goals reached and things like that. So I'm very lucky to be able to have met so many people, but now to be able to truly call people friends. Like, so for instance, you had Gail Southern Living on just for a quick second. She's somebody who goes over and above with friendship, things that would, and I'm lucky to have a few friends that do similar things. And what I'm talking about is, luckily, as the host of Tuber Chat, people will reach out and they'll say to me, "Hey, I noticed this thing in the community," or "I noticed this thing in a group of channels." And it could be positive or negative, but it helps me gauge the temperature of the conversation out there, if that makes any sense, into what's going on. Because we all know, I try not to talk about it too much. We know there's negativity that comes around in different areas and things like that. And these are the kind of things that can have people quit or stop. What I often will say is, if you hear somebody say they want to quit or they want to stop, just please send them to me for a second, because I've got a speech that can help them. You can always quit tomorrow. There are things you can do to put your channel on pause without quitting, and that kind of thing. But I have people who reach out for things that they see that are positive, changes in YouTube, that, if I'm out working for 2 or 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm just not on for 16 hours. There could be a change that comes up. And I have friends that reach out and let me know. They let me know when people are hitting milestones, when people are doing shout out videos, when people are having celebrations like birthdays. Scratch and PPA has been a shining jewel for this, but there are a lot of friends that do similar things as well. And I'm very lucky to be able to have that. But this is what the community is all about. And I was lucky because I felt like I could see the future before we started. That's only from my own personal history, being enthused with social media and things like that. But I'm glad that I was right about that idea, that there really are enough generous people out there. Because behind every YouTube channel is a human being at some point, right? Maybe not today, because 2023 brings ChatGPT and everything else. But you know what I'm talking about. And when we find people who are truly leading when it comes to the idea of helping people start their YouTube journey, it's a lot easier when people are helping you up the ladder. You know what I mean? Literally grabbing people by the hand. "Hey, let's help you. Come to my channel today. We'll get you an extra 10 people. We'll get you an extra." And I'm not talking about me or Tuber Chat. I'm talking about what I see in people like Joe, obviously from Rebel Canners, obviously from people like Scott, from Nora, from Pete, from Kristen, from, all these, from Gail, from all these different people. And there's lots of friends in the chat that I've seen come by. So forgive me for not being active in the chat. When we're on panel, we don't do quite the same thing. But there's lots of friends that I've seen come through, some for at least a couple of years now. and lots of new friends that we'll probably have met after today. I should thank you for that too, Joe, because forgive the self-promotion, but we're actually only 20 subscribers away from 5K today. So we're going to have it before Halloween, I'm sure. But I bet that we will probably have made a few friends here tonight, and that will put us very close to our last 10 before 5,000. So it's a wonderful milestone, and I'm always excited about those things. So
You know, I
thanks
love
for that too.
when I Handicapped Travelers here, right? So I believe I met him on your channel, and I'm always into travel. I like to travel. I would love to travel. Actually, I haven't traveled anywhere basically, but I want to travel. So I clicked on his website, and at first, I'm like, this is kind of boring. Sorry, that's my first initial reaction. And then I'm gonna give him a chance. I want to learn more. I want to see what his journeys are about, and I'm like, I'm gonna support him, right? And so then I made a video of him doing rap. I thought it'd be a good leeway to support somebody, to make them laugh. People can follow. People promote, because I always believe if you promote the smaller guys, it'll grow your channel. And then I found a guy has a heart, and what kind of heart he has. And now I follow him over the time. So here I started the channel on your channel. Never thought I would follow him. Just what the heck. Thought he was boring. Support him a little bit, and found something I really liked about him. And that's his heart. And that's the kind of people I like to follow. So
that's great.
Just a little thing for me.
That's wonderful.
So, well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys come on with it the next year again.
Yeah, well, thank you. I didn't realize it's probably been a year already. It's somewhere around there, right? But thank you for having me on again. Forgive my long-winded answers. I hope we got to everything you wanted to talk about. But it's always, I can tell everybody as well, if you're thinking about live streaming and you haven't done it yet, one of the things that can be a great benefit is hopping in on somebody else's StreamYard panel, like what we're doing here right now, because you get a little bit of practice before you have to do it yourself. Right? So that's an idea. But the other thing too is when you join somebody else on their channel, even though you are basically guaranteed to gain subscribers that day, you are generously helping another person, I believe, by sharing your own opinion and changing the dynamic, I use that word all the time, of the content that they're presenting. Right? So these are just ideas, but I just want to encourage people. I haven't done nearly as many panels as I wish I did this year, but it can be a great way to not only grow, but help others grow. And I truly believe, I'm not overly religious or anything like that, but the more you give, I promise you, it comes back. And YouTube and these communities are a perfect example of that.
Oh, by the way, there was a short. I did a short with you on it. Yeah, I've never seen it.
Figures. Is that the 10th one? It's probably he puts me
That's
on
right here
all the time. Yes, I got to see that one. Yeah, another somebody might have pointed that out the other day, unless that's brand new, but I'm going to put that on our front page again. I tell people all the time, for those of you who are just getting to know Joe from Garden State Gardener here, I describe him on our channel on Tuber Chat as somebody who's probably done more shout out videos for other creators than anybody I've seen on the whole of YouTube, and that's in 6.5 years. So this is what I'm talking about when you see people who are willing to help others. But that's why I didn't miss the chance to come on today and see Joe again and be a part of it.
It's just a way to do something different.
Yeah,
and have fun with it. Everybody could say something. Oh, check out this channel. Do this. But a lot of people don't see a face. They see a name.
There you go.
Well, I might have a face, a different kind of body shape than there actually are. But it's a face. And it makes people smile. When you smile and have a good time, you want to follow. So I've been trying to do a lot less of that because I did it way too much.
It's a lot of fun. I like the ones you do when you put people together. You put me in a group of everybody. I think it was the YMCA one. And I thought that was a lot of fun because you're building, like, even for a couple of creators that may not have known each other. This is what I'm talking about when I say, like, there are creators out there that fuse friendships together. And I've talked about Joe in this way for years now. It's getting on a couple of years, probably longer now, that I've mentioned it about Joe behind Garden State Gardener, the fact that he is able to fuse these friendships. Because if two people run into one of these things together, or like Tammy from Rebel Canners, right? The fact that we've now shared screen time together for all of this time, I'm going to be on that channel this week specifically, seeing what she's been up to. If I haven't been on there like lately, you know what I mean? And it fuses those friendships and builds a bigger bond, right? Because we've been able to have a conversation. This is the magic that I talk about in the friendships behind what we're all doing.
Yes, I agree.
Totally. All right, guys. Well, we're going to spin the wheel before we end the night here. And Kevin, thank you so much. This was great. And go check out Tuber Chat right after we're done here. And yeah, thank you so much. We
My
all
pleasure.
learned so
Thanks
much
for having me on. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right, that could go on forever. And I'd love it if it would go on forever, but
it's all your fault. You get very interesting guests.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Well, you know what? I look at things. If you learn one thing off something, it's well worth listening to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and there's a lot to learn on his channel.
Yeah,
and you can always meet new people.
Always new people. Always new people, and you always know who's going to always be there at the same time.
Yes.
So it's becomes fun. Okay, so let me look at my book because we got to get some prizes off right now. So the members only was Helen Ford. She won that for the members giveaway. She won the seeds. D's Yummy Elmo gave you the mushroom book, Tammy.
Oh, thank you.
You got the mushroom book.
Thank you. I would really put that to use.
I don't know if Deborah Richardson was here before.
I think I saw her in the chat.
Okay, so that's 3 winners. Deborah Richardson won it.
I can't see the chat again because I'm back on my phone. But
okay. All right, and the blue yarn nobody won, so we're just gonna go to the blue yarn. You get 3 of these. We have natural remedies for kids.
Oh, nice.
Which is really cool. We're giving out so much medicine to everybody when you don't need to. Yeah. So blue yarn remedies. I like the books this week. So
books it is.
Gut health hacks. We all have tons of gut health today. And a lot of it's because we're not eating Deborah Richardson.
I thought
there we
I
go.
saw her.
Look at that. She's in the chat.
Yeah, she was in right after you did the wheel because I could see it back when I was on the computer.
Okay. Yeah, she's been here. So yeah. Yes. Okay. Sorry if I don't see everybody in the chat. When I do these interviews, I want to make sure I pay attention as much as I can to the guest. That's the reason why I say at the end of the chat, we'll open things up. So I appreciate everyone for being here. And Nisi, thank you so much. The next one, like I said, was the gut health hacks. And so, that's it. That's good for tonight. Oh, tomorrow's pierogi Monday. I have Fiery Legion. This is going to be my guest. I'm going to have some pierogies. He's going to show some of his peppers. He's a Facebook page and a really hot pepper dude. So that'll be the first time I ever had him on. I just seen his stuff, so I have no idea what he even looks like. So I'm really appreciate. I know what his peppers look like better than he does. And we're going to give away Jersey Barnfire hot sauce. And this is really good. And as you can tell, last week's is gone. That was gone on Monday.
Wow.
Tuesday, I mean.
You said it was good though. You said it was drinkable last Monday.
It was gone. It was gone. And then I'm going to actually Uber tonight because I still got to do 4 more rides. Oh, so my. Because of those long rides I had today, and then I got to get some sleep. I got a long day tomorrow. So let's get to the wheel. Let's see who's going to win.
I can't see the chat. I'm gonna try, but I don't know.
Sunday Funday. Let me do the shuffle, 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 shuffle. Okay, good luck, everyone. Good luck. Make sure you guys check out Super Chat. Who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be the game? Life in Yarn Tangled. I don't think Cindy's here, but she lurks. What an amazing woman she is. So that was for the blue yarn. Now we're going to do the let's do the gut health hacks.
Okay.
Let's spin it. Gut health. Deborah Siglio. I can't even say that. Deborah won. Deborah. Congratulations to Deborah.
I wish I could see the chat. I'm so used to being able to see the chat and helping you mod, and I can't see anything.
Okay, natural remedies. Congratulations to Pamela. So congratulations to Pamela Morrison. And did I said natural kids remedies were for that last one? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
My handwriting is so bad it's sad. It's all over the place. Nobody's going to read this book.
And I'm not Reed. I'm not there writing it down for you. We miss Reed. Where are you, Reed? Come back.
Yeah, I got to get Reed back somehow, some kind of way. Reed was so much easier. By the time we were out of here, everything was already packaged up.
Yeah.
Now I got to try. My hardest part is trying to find Deborah Richardson. There's Deborah Richardson. Okay. Make sure you guys email me. I appreciate that. If you don't email me, I don't know your price half of the time. I can't read the handwriting. So make sure you guys email me. I appreciate it. And exactly what you want. And if you don't know what you want, watch the replay. Okay, last one. This is pretty cool. Pokemon crochet kit.
Oh.
So last one for tonight.
Fun.
Greg Bryson. Congratulations to Greg Bryson. Greg's a Joseph's Journey member.
Awesome.
So let me get out of here. So thank you everyone so much for coming and watch today. Make sure you winners. Oh, you see Melanie goes, no. I wonder if she was close to winning. Probably not.
Next week. Watch Monday. Come watch
Oh,
Monday.
there's Greg. Greg's here. He said yes. So Greg won the Pokemon crochet kit, which is awesome. Okay. So let's call it a night. Make sure you guys check out my videos I make during the weeks for subscription videos. Sometime or another, I'll make them tomorrow. So that starts on Tuesday, the new subscription videos. Seeds of the Week will be announced hopefully, tomorrow night. The winners will be announced after my pierogi Monday. And become a member. And Tammy, thank you so much for helping me out. I appreciate you coming on. And,
thanks for having me up.
And go check out Rebel Canners on Facebook too and YouTube. And I appreciate you guys, all your support. We had basically the same crew here, a whole entire chat. So love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow night. And what Uncle says, winner's email. There you go. There's Uncle Al. Winner's email, Joe, and your name.
And your prize, right?
And
Down
a prize. And what you won. No seats today. It's crazy. Well, you just got to go to the subscription video. You got 2 chances to win on Facebook and YouTube
Yeah.
each week.
Yes.
100 days of seeds. Okay, guys. I'll see you later. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.